Is taking Dutasteride going to kill your male fertility the same way taking anabolic steroids is gonna kill your hair? Well, Dutasteride's effects on sperm has always been the thing that kept me from taking it and just made me stick to finasteride. In today's video, however, for all of you guys who are interested in taking Dutasteride for hair loss, I'm going to be sharing with you my thoughts why I would do a sperm test before taking Dutasteride. There was a recent study in March of 2025 that found out that long-term use of Dutasteride in young men may lead to persistent abnormalities in semen parameters. In today's video, we are going to be looking at two studies, starting with this one, and whether these concerns that the study concluded are even validated by a quality scientific research. Hey, welcome back to Let's Get Hair. My name is Matt, and 15 years ago I started to lose hair and got my hair back with 3 hair transplants, and since 2018 I was able to help more than 2,300 clients of mine find the best hair transplant clinic for their hair type, expectations, and budget, and thus help them avoid ending up at a bad clinic with a hair transplant they regret and wasting their money and hair transplant as well. And for all one-on-one appointment reservations, please check out the link in the video description below, and I'm gonna be happy to help you out as well. And now back to our recent study on Dutasteride that was led by doctors and personnel from Department of Urology, several medical universities, and fertility centers in South Korea. Now let's start with the conclusion that might sound a little bit concerning. Long-term use of Dutasteride may lead to male infertility by persistently impairing semen volume and sperm motility. That's very concerning. Now, if we look at how the study was designed, though, we can see that the study is controlled, but not placebo controlled. That means there will be a placebo group and a treatment group that is taking Dutasteride, and the other one that is just taking a sugar pill. Including placebo groups in scientific research is super important because they can act as neutral benchmarks that can help us reduce bias. Now I'm going to still review this study because this kind of brings us to the next study as well, and I think both conclusions will be important for all of you guys who are interested in having children and you want to take Dutasteride or finasteride smart, keep your hair, but also keep your fertility maxed out. This study from 2025 evaluated 200 men aged from 28 to 39 years old. 40 men were allocated to each study group. There were 5 groups divided according to the duration of Dutasteride treatment. All subjects received Dutasteride 0.5 mg daily for management of androgenetic alopecia and then discontinued Dutasteride for 6 months. And I know how I used to be when I first started researching hair loss stuff, and I was only just gonna skip to the conclusion of the study like this one, where in our case it says like it's causing infertility and it's persistently impairing semen volume and sperm motility, and I took that conclusion at face value. But the problem is you cannot do it. Here's why. Men who participated in this study have already used Dutasteride on average for 3 to 60 months prior to initial semen collection at the clinic. This initial semen collection, which the study calls the baseline levels, has been performed while these men were already taking Dutasteride for several months. That's not the same as doing the baseline level sample collection where you are on the no Dutasteride. And then they told all the guys to stop Dutasteride for 6 months and then collect their second semen samples from each of them. This study concluded that as the duration of Dutasteride treatment increased, semen parameters including semen volume, sperm motility, and DNA fragmentation showed statistically significant negative effects. And although 6 months after Dutasteride was discontinued, semen volume and sperm motility were restored, treatment durations longer than 17.8 and 20.3 months significantly and persistently impaired semen volume and sperm motility respectively. And they suggest that young men planning to have children in the future should be carefully managed when treated with Dutasteride. And I think that's a smart thing to say if you get results like these. Let me just sum up the limitations limitations here, what the study actually admits, they say that the lack of participants' clinical information prior to the study prevented inclusion of their sperm parameters before dutasteride treatment, and also the inclusion of pre-dutasteride sperm parameters could help achieve a more thorough interpretation of the overall effect of dutasteride on sperm parameters. So to sum up the first study, there seems to be at least a temporary interference of dutasteride on semen parameters like sperm concentration, semen volume, and sperm motility. Once dutasteride is stopped, these parameters seem to start coming back up, as we can see here. And now let's come to the second study. In the second study from 2007, they conducted in a randomized double-blinded placebo-controlled trial in 99 healthy men randomly assigned to receive dutasteride 0.5 milligram, 33 men, or finasteride 5 milligram, 34 men, and placebo group 32 men. And they received those pills once daily for a year. And here we have a proper baseline sperm sample collection. So they did sperm collection on all those men before even starting the study. That's very good. Sperm count, sperm motility, sperm morphology, semen volume. And then they did the same 6 months after, again 1 year after, and then again after stopping those pills, and then at the 6-month follow-up while being on no pills during that time. So first of all, if we look at those graphics right there, we are looking at the sperm count, semen volume, we are looking at sperm concentration and sperm motility and sperm morphology. The black square is placebo, the black circle is finasteride, and the white square is dutasteride. And you can see that there is a clear trend down with the treatment groups, finasteride and dutasteride, and the only group that stays even is actually the placebo. Now, be careful here. Finasteride might also seem like it's decreasing those things by a lot here, but it's because it's 5 milligram version, not the 1 milligram version. So unless you are a guy who is taking finasteride in a 5 milligram daily dose, somebody who is treated for benign prostatic hyperplasia with 5 milligram, you shouldn't really worry about that so much. We see that the mean semen volume was significantly reduced from baseline after 26 and 52 weeks of treatment. In the dutasteride group, it was minus 24% and minus 29.7% respectively, and in the finasteride group, it was minus 21% after 26 weeks and minus 14.5% after 52 weeks. And before we proceed with the evaluation of the values, check this P sign in the upper right corner. It represents the p-values that are listed in the last column, and they tell us how statistically significant the percentage changes standing in the column before, by the way, actually are. With other words, if the p-value is 0.05 and less, we have statistical significance. If the p-value is way higher than 0.05, it is likely that the percentage changes were possibly influenced by also other factors than just taking dutasteride. And now let's have a look at all of the specific semen parameters that were negatively affected by taking 0.5 milligram dutasteride in this study. I will not discuss finasteride here since it is a 5 milligram version that this study shows, and this is the version that people rarely use, and this video is also titled with dutasteride in it. So let's have a look at just the dutasteride values for first sperm count. We see double-digit percentage reductions of minus 28.6% after 26 weeks, minus 24.9% after 52 weeks, and also minus 23.3% after the 6 months after stopping dutasteride follow-up. P-values on the right are all below or close to being 0.05, so the results likely did not occur as a result of randomness or by chance, and thus are statistically significant. Number 2 parameter is semen volume. We are seeing a strong statistical significance on the low p-values. After 24 weeks on dutasteride, there was a minus 24% reduction in semen volume, minus 29.7% after 52 weeks, and minus 16 13.8% after the 6 months after stopping dutasteride follow-up. Number 3 parameter, sperm concentration. This remained more or less unaffected based on rather insignificant percentage reductions of -12.9, -3.2, -10.4%, but simultaneously no statistical significance, making these values likely occur as a result of chance instead of dutasteride's direct influence. Number 4, we have sperm motility that was affected by -10% after 26 weeks and -6.3% after the 6 months after stopping dutasteride follow-up, all backed up by statistical significance. And number 5 was sperm morphology that remained unaffected. We see no statistical significance and also very low percentage changes. And now if we look again at all of the figures with the graphs, we can see that there is likely a point where semen parameters are going to dip the lowest and going to be negatively affected the most with dutasteride, likely at the start of the treatment in the first 6 months of use. But over time, there seems to be a tendency of all of the parameters recovering back close to their starting point values, but not being able to recover completely until dutasteride is fully stopped, mainly noticeable with sperm counts and semen volume. In these two cases, we cannot even confirm a full recovery even after 6 months after stopping dutasteride. And there were also like 5% of individuals who were more sensitive, demonstrated greater sensitivity to the 5-alpha reductase inhibition, with decreases in total sperm count to less than 10% of their baseline value during treatment. So that's why if I were to take dutasteride, I would definitely want to feel safe and in control, and that's the reason why I would take the sperm test before and then 6 months after, and then maybe again 12 months after, to see if we are seeing maybe some trend of those levels maybe dipping at the 6-month mark and then maybe coming slightly, back to normal after 12 months, or whether there is some suppression, like a more semi-permanent suppression on those levels while taking dutasteride. So that's pretty much something that I would be interested in doing to feel 100% safe. So that's pretty much my take, guys. Really, I'm not interested in dutasteride for now because finasteride is working for me, good enough. And for all of you guys who want to know my 5 reasons why I'm not taking dutasteride, and the fertility thing is just one of them, check out the video I made, I think 2 years ago. I will link it below, as well as my one-on-one consulting service in case you guys want to consult with me one-on-one on anything hair clinic, hair transplant, hair loss related. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time in another video.